Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. On my channel we have been talking about data privacy and consent management, and we have around 6 videos around what consent management is, how is the form, what are the best practices, and even on what are the procedures for withdrawal of consent. In this video we are going to talk about the challenges that organizations face when they handle consent for their different activities. To begin with, we will quickly touch base on what is data privacy. It's my right to choose what personal information do I want to share, with whom do I want to share this information, what is the purpose of my sharing the information, and can this information be shared further? If yes, then with whom and why, and to what extent. And for this entire activity, has my permission, my consent been obtained by the person who is processing and sharing my information, collecting my information? That is what is consent management. Data privacy as such gives me those rules and laws that help protect my interest, that in case I see my information being wrongly used or shared, then I can protect myself from the misuse and I can get the culprits punished. Now, the process of obtaining my information, storing it, managing it, and obtaining my permission to use my information is called consent management. So the process of the permission to obtain, document and manage my permission to collect, process and share my personal information is what we call as consent management. Now there are various kinds of consents. We have videos around consent management, and as I mentioned, it must be around 6 or 7 videos by now on consent management. So we understand what it is, and now we are on why are there challenges while handling consent. It's a very important fundamental part of data privacy, that you are using my data with or without my permission, right? That's the basic pillar of data privacy. So there are challenges, like there are evolving data privacy regulations. Not many geographies in the world are still having a mature data privacy program. So data privacy rules keep changing, keep evolving, and therefore the businesses who are handling personal information need to keep evolving themselves also to handle the changing data rules, right? Privacy rules. In fact, for larger organizations which work in different geographies, you have different privacy regulations applicable, right? You have GDPR in Europe, you have CCPA in US, you have PDPA of Singapore and Asia Pacific, Singapore only, and even other Asian Pacific countries have their own data privacy rules. Even India has one, and we are still getting formalizing rules. So the larger companies have to handle a lot of diverse data privacy rules and consent management accordingly. Consent management is not a one-time activity, right? It's not just once you ask yes or no. You keep on adding more users. For example, you have people joining in your organization, you have people subscribing to your service, so you keep adding new users. So the consent management is a continuous process. You add new activities, you build up a new service, launch a new service. Maybe it's applicable for existing users as well as new users. So you again need to obtain consent to some part of the information from existing users as well as from the new users that you get for this service. And there could be new business processes. There are technological advancements within organizations, right? They change their CRMs, they change their ERPs. So every time you change those things, you need to make sure that you are managing consent properly. There are mergers and acquisitions. So the company which has been acquired, did they have a proper consent management system? What would happen to the users who were users of that company? Would the consent management system already used for them be same as it is carried on to the new company? If in that case, what would happen to the consent management system of the new company? So consent management in itself is a huge process, and is a daily activity or a continuous activity that has to happen in any organization who is handling large businesses, right? Then there is another thing in consent management which is consent withdrawal. So you need to have a very good, secure process to handle withdrawal of consents, as good as important as handling the actual consent, right? Other challenges that you face include, of course, if it's a large company, they will have a safe and secure IT and safe and secure method of managing and storing the data, which includes consent data also. But still, there's a cost associated with handling everything, right? People might end up in saying consent management databases may not be very large, but then there are all procedures that you have to follow. Would you be allowed to use cloud services? Yes, no, depending on your geography, depending on the applicable privacy rules and data sharing rules in your geographies. If you are allowed to move on to cloud for your privacy related data, then you need to have very strict third-party contracts with those cloud service providers, because now your data is residing in their premises. One big thing is that it has to be within the same country, right? Same applicable laws. User expectations, what kind of consent form user is expecting, what methods is he expecting, both at the time of providing you with the consent as well as at the time when he is withdrawing the consent, right? So you have to take care of the user's expectations. Integrating them with third-party services, like I mentioned earlier also, new technologies being adopted in your organization, right? A new software has been developed for a better language, a new application has been developed for your organization, or you are subscribing to a new application. So consent has to be applicable for that application. What extra data, what extra consents, how can you make sure that the user is still safe and confident about his data being handled by you? So that's another big process. And then you have to adopt to technological advances. You can go ahead with a consent management software. It's available. Many of them are available in the market now. But again, that's again a big project in itself. It is essential, by the way. The cost of non-compliance could be much higher than the cost of compliance, right? The only thing is that based on the size of your business, based on the diversity of your business, dynamic nature of your business, you have to deploy resources, right? If your business needs keep changing regularly, you need more resources. If your business needs don't change that frequently, maybe consent might end up to be a slightly static one. For example, if we say an educational institute, if they enroll a student, they'll take consent about his personal information, performance evaluation, this, and it would be sort of more or less a static kind of thing, right? But then all businesses are not 100% static, and privacy is to be handled more carefully by businesses which are more dynamic, because they have to deal with cross-border transfers as well, because dynamic and large business means it's going to go beyond the territory as well, and then therefore multiple compliances of different countries and multiple services, right? So these are the few challenges that are there on the table that the organizations have to take care of when they are handling consent for their consumers, their users, for data privacy. And this is what I have to talk about when it comes to challenges in consent management. We'll have more content on consent management in coming videos. I told you we already have good 6-7 videos on this. So you can subscribe to my channel, browse through the videos and see if you like the content that I have put in, if it's of any use to you. If you want my help to develop a data privacy practice for you, my contact details are there in the description of the video. You can contact me at your convenience. Thank you.